Fortnite just dropped the official teaser trailer for the Super Season's final event, and it's absolutely packed with fan service and full-blown chaos. No time to waste, let's get straight into it, because they showed a lot. We're talking a Spirit Realm invasion, actual demonic gameplay, and probably one of the biggest storyline events we've seen in the past 3 years. So grab your popcorn, sit tight, because the Spirit Realm is ready to break through. First things first, another promo art for the Super Showdown event just dropped. It features the Supernova Academy students, a default-looking Jonesy for some reason, and Superman helping the crew fight off a tentacle emerging straight from the Spirit Realm. What's interesting, we actually got a tease for this moment way back at the start of the season, in that Battle Pass loading screen, where the heroes stare at something terrifying in the demon's domain. But there's still one big question. Where's Hope? Drop your theories in the comments. But let's keep moving through the trailer, and it kicks off with a close-up shot of the demon domain. The very first shot shows it, and right down the middle, a glowing energy beam cutting straight through the terrain. Now if you fly up and look around the right side of the map, you'll notice something interesting. The energy's coming from one of the monoliths nearby. You remember those 4 ancient stones that haven't moved all season? Yeah, those are lighting up. And I think they're not just for show. They're syncing up, charging the portal with raw energy, and it's not just one. I'm betting they're all about to activate and link together. Feels familiar? Yep, power's aimed at the demon portal. The stakes? Way higher. But that energy storm? It's something else. There's this wave, like a pulse of reality tearing through the zone. Next shot? Absolute destruction. We're talking full-on meltdown. Demon domain is about to get vaporized. And yeah, just like in Might Explosion's just getting started. And let's be honest, Demon Domain is about to be completely obliterated. This surge of energy feels exactly like the Midas event all over again. Back then a book, but turned up to 11, and Fortnite's not stopping there. Just when we thought we'd seen it all, giant tentacle on screen. Not one, but 3 little eyes and 1 massive eye staring back at us. Yup, it's finally happening. This Saturday, we're going toe-to-toe with the Kraken. Yeah, you heard that right. The Kraken. The myth. The meme. Loopers have been manifesting this beast since forever. I mean, how many times did we say this season is the Kraken season? We saw it teased since Chapter 1, but this time, it's real. And now, all the dots are lighting up at once. Turns out, that graffiti with tentacle, it was a straight-up teaser, a vision, a warning, a direct reference to the Kraken. Hope's visions are real, and she's sketching out the battle to come, the one against that giant beast from the deep. And that's not all. We just unlocked Superman, and if you did, you've seen that loading screen. Yeah, the one where every hero looks absolutely stunned. And we were wondering what they were looking at. Giant Dago or some spires. Well, now we know. They're seeing the Kraken. And Superman's face said it all. The moment he landed in reality 783, he definitely wasn't expecting to see the Kraken. Now here's the deeper lore for those keeping track. That shard of the 0 point that crashed in Chapter 6 Season 1, the one we saw right at the beginning, we still haven't recovered it. It was stolen by the demons, dragged straight through a portal into the Spirit Realm, so naturally we had to go after it. But Season 1 hit us with a twist. Jade got trapped inside that same realm. And just when we pulled off the rescue mission, the whole portal exploded in a burst of golden light. That closed the door. In Season 2, we tried again. New plan. But then, furry Baron Kane got in the way. So Dago pulled a classic trick, made Fletcher believe he was gonna grant him insane power. Kane backed off, thinking he was getting the deal of a lifetime. What Dago actually did was rebuild his mask, not for show, but to gain pure strength. Strength enough to tear through dimensions and enter the Spirit Realm. And yeah, he made it in. But the catch, he got fully corrupted. Now Daigo's controlled by that dark presence lurking in the realm. The same presence Jade warned us about. She told us right after we saved her. There's something down there, something not even Kendo or Dago can defeat. And these aren't just random heroes. That's her brothers we're talking about. If even they don't stand a chance, then we're up against something beyond deadly. And now, Epic's teasing the event with a tweet. Superman is returning to the island to save it. That's your clue right there. That thing Jade talked about way back in Chapter 6 Season 1? It's probably the Kraken. She warned us long before Season 2 even dropped, said we'd need someone truly overpowered to stop it. And now that we've seen this beast, it's all adding up. Thank God Clark on our side. This dude literally one-shot a megalith in the trailer. So yeah, it's looking like he's the star of this Saturday's live event. And sure, it might sting a little that the spotlight's on a collab character. But come on, if anyone's gonna punch a Kraken in the face, it's him. And let's be real, he's not just here for show. He's probably the one that's gonna take the Kraken down, clearing the way for the real lore drops after the battle. Now, here's the thing I keep wondering. Is the Kraken, or whatever it is, the actual dark presence that's been holding the 0-point shard? Honestly, I don't think so. The Kraken? I think it's just a minion. Like when Davy Jones sends out his Kraken to wreck pirate ships, the Kraken's terrifying. Yeah, but he's not the boss. Davy's still calling the shots. Same energy here. The real villain, the one holding the 0-point shard, is probably still lurking in the spirit realm, pulling the strings. The Kraken? Just a pawn in a much bigger game. And this isn't just a battle, it's the start of an all-out invasion. But how? Let's rewind to see how we got here. Let's start with the obvious question. Where did all these superpowers come from? Remember that moment in the trailer? The explosion where a chunk of the Death Star hit the island and triggered a massive shockwave? That wave wasn't random. It was raw energy straight from the spirit realm. Energy from the epicenter. And it might be tied to the 0-point shard and Daigo's broken portal. Think back to Chapter 2, Season 5. No one's turning into Slurphawks, but they are waking up with insane powers. Except, well, not all of them. One unfortunate Jonesy variant mutated into a lizard chameleon hybrid. No powers, just bug snacks and long tongue problems. But now it gets real. The Supernova Academy, run by Jones and Hope, is training loopers to control these powers, about to get wrecked. And guess who's behind it? Yep, Daigo. The very place that was meant to be our secret weapon against the darkness? He's about to tear it to the ground. And if even Superman can't stop him, yeah, you know we're in trouble. I mean, let's be real. Supes is invincible. Even Bass Boost can't scratch him. But Daigo? He's on another level. If you've got any theories why Superman isn't stepping in, drop it in the comments. This could be leading to a full-blown mini-event, especially with that upgraded Daigo model glowing with Kintsugi energy. We've seen this before, like with Doom's cracked mask before his boss fight. So here's the theory. After getting juiced by Spirit Realm power, Daigo's ready to strike, and his first target is the Academy. But don't panic just yet. Even if the school falls, that doesn't mean the new heroes are gone. Some are already teased in the latest trailer, so if you're planning to grab all new supers, make sure to use my creator code. But let's get back to Daigo. The guy's completely lost it. At this point, he's doing more damage than Megalodon and Doom. Remember when Night Rose said darkness already tasted Daigo? Yeah, that prophecy just came true. In his obsession to prove himself, he repeated the same mistakes as the Shogun and Rose, and became a puppet. And here's the heartbreaking part. Every time you defeat the corrupted Daigo, he snaps out of it for a moment. He apologizes, begs Kendo and Jade for help. You can literally hear the regret in his voice. He finally realized maybe playing Lone Wolf Sigma wasn't the move. Maybe he should have sided with Jones and Hope from the start. Now that he's consumed Spirit Realm energy, Kintsugi is basically on steroids. You can see it in his gold-lined suit and the mysterious spires feeding off the island. Speaking of which, no one knows why Daigo is draining Oninoshima's spirit energy. But if the unknown Shogun was doing the same, it's clearly tied to the Dark Plan. Here are the two leading theories. 1. Daigo's weakening the barrier between our world and the spirit realm to let the darkness in. Mist, parts of the island are literally starting to rot. Snow's creeping in from the south, and trees near the moss are withering like it's autumn. Some might say it's just a seasonal visual update. But what if it's not? What if Daigo is leeching the life out of Oninoshima, turning it into a wasteland? Hope even calls it out in-game. She says the island's turning darker and stranger. We've seen this before, back when the cube, especially if more locations start to decay. And did you catch that cinematic moment where Daigo's portal tries to pierce the zero reality bubble? That barrier's supposed to protect the island from outside threats. It used to cause memory loss and time loops, but now it works differently. Or maybe Charlie just gave up explaining it. Still, that bubble needs the 0 point to exist. It's woven from its energy, so if the 0 point goes, so does our last line of defense. According to the latest leak, and so far, it's been dead on, The next season will revolve around an alien insect invasion. If Dago breaks the barrier, wave after wave of bugs, creepers, and nightmare fuel could come crawling in. We've seen a glimpse of these creatures in the Batman crossover, realities filled with insectoid monsters swarming the multiverse. And now the big question, is this alien swarm part of the Dark Plan? I'm not sure yet. It's hard to see a direct link between demon lords and bug aliens, but in Fortnite, anything's possible. Or maybe, we're missing the bigger picture. What if the darkness is from Deep Space too? It's way too early to say if the last reality is involved, but we definitely can't rule it out. I mean, it would explain why the darkness is hoarding epicenter fragments like rare loot drops. But now, let's get to in Utopia City. Turns out, it's tied to a chilling secret about hope. While Jones chills in his office sipping coffee, his partner's been secretly working on her own plan to save the island. And not with some random fish stick or second match. They're not talking about one shard, they're talking plural, meaning there are more fragments out there than we thought. So far, we've only seen the biggest one, locked away in the spirit realm and claimed by the darkness. A few smaller ones were even reforged into Daigo's blades. But what if there are still pieces scattered around the island that no one's found yet? This could be setting the stage for the next chapter, hopping across different realities, collecting every last zero-point shard. A perfect excuse to revamp the map, without messing up the storyline. But either way, Hope and Midas believe this vault could protect the fragments from any threat, especially from darkness and whatever else is out there hunting them down. Still, this is Midas we're talking about, and after everything he pulled under the Loop's nose, would you really trust him with the fate of the multiverse? For now, he's sponsoring the Academy, helping Jones and Hope, and keeping a low profile, so technically we're all on the same team. But I've got a feeling this vault project is hiding way more than they're letting on. And something tells me we're about to find out exactly what. Here's the real kicker, the portal in first weeks of the storyline right here, because the live event is getting closer. The only thing that might bring us any closer to solving these mysteries is the final scene of the Galactic Battle season. We saw a beam bursting out of the spirit realm, trying to shatter the Loop's bubble from the inside. And crazy part? This isn't even the first time we've seen it. Back in Chapter 6 Season 2, Dago was already firing those massive dark energy blasts into the sky, slowly breaking the Loop without us even realizing it. But the real question is, why is the Chapter 6 island even trapped in a reality bubble to begin with? But before I tell you, dear Loopers, don't forget to use the best creator code in the multiverse. Speaking of multiverse, let's rewind to the Fracture event that kicked off Chapter 4. That's when the 0 Point teleported into an unknown reality. And based on everything we know, the reality bubble always follows the 0 Point. So now the question is, could it have landed in reality 783? Let's remember, back in Chapter 3, the bubble and the island together made up reality 0. It kept both islands stable and protected the 0 Point at the same time. So now that we've got both an island and a loop on Oninoshima, there's a solid chance the 0 Point is here too. Maybe that's why the 0 shard showed up, like it's returning to its source. You know what they say? Everything goes back to where it came from. And maybe, just maybe, the 0 Point is slowly rebuilding itself from all the scattered pieces. And here's where it gets wild. Oninoshima? Yeah, it existed long before the Big Bang. My theory, when the 0 shard arrived here, it created the reality bubble around the island as a defense mechanism. And it happened the moment it got dragged into the spirit realm. That actually makes a ton of sense. The shard was totally defenseless after the demons captured it, so to avoid attention, it wrapped the island in a protective shield. This would also explain why Dago didn't just enter the spirit realm at the end of Lawless Season. He also started attacking the bubble itself, trying to weaken it. Why? To help the Empire breach the defenses of Oninoshima faster. And it gets even deeper. Dago might have predicted that fragments of the Death Star would crash into the portal and unleash the demon domain. I'm basing this on Chapter 2 Season 8, where we learned the spirit realm can literally see the Fliwen reveals next. Now, some players are speculating that the protective dome over the island isn't a loop bubble at all, just the natural atmosphere of reality 783. Personally, I'm not buying that. We've got confirmation from Chapter 4. That island wasn't inside a panels Jonesy used to summon the greatest hunters from across all realities? Well, who knows what purpose they'll serve in Chapter 6. Meanwhile, the Spirit Realm portal explosion didn't just shake the island. It unleashed a massive energy pulse. This blast didn't just grant everyone on the island superpowers. It also brought the demon's domain, led by none other than the mask maker, Daigo, right into the world of Fortnite. And now, he's slowly draining the island's energy. Deep beneath Daigo's main temple lies a colossal rift, glowing with dark purple energy, dripping into what looks like a brand new dark portal. So yeah, Daigo's plan might just be to forge a gateway big enough to unleash absolute chaos when Season 3 ends.